fact, no, the entire Just Cause collection, 80% off. So Just Cause 2 brings down to £1.99. The original Just Cause, 99p. Just Cause DLC collection, in case you've already got the games but don't have the DLC, 99p. Or, of course, you can waste your money and get the whole thing for £4.19.
Which I did, and
it's
wasted
more expensive.
19p.
It's actually more expensive.
I've lost 19p.
It's surprising me to
Criminal.
that, actually.
Absolute criminal.
That's almost a 20p coin.
But of course, the game I was interested in was, of course, Cities in Motion. Because, well, Cities in Motion 2, actually. Normally £14. And of course, it came down to £3.75. But the big thing is, at 75% off, the Cities in Motion 1 and 2 collection... usually costing £72.99, £18.25. Just think SimCity, but transport-based, and you're not far off. It's actually a pretty good game, and that gives you 20 items. Offer ends in 25 hours, so if you're interested in that, go for it.
Oh, no.
Now, of course, the as we were saying PC Master Race earlier, and I kind of alluded to being, mentioning later about issues... you may remember the E3 2012 demo of Watch Dogs.
Yeah, I remember it being very pretty.
It looked great.
It was a very pretty game, yes.
Looking. I was getting pretty hyped.
But of course, remember, of course, these demos are usually done on the most high-end, 12 to £30,000 gaming rigs. That and of course they only have the game rendering about about an 18th of the map, so that they don't have any slowdown on issues, so that they can get the maximum performance out of it. So these things are heavily staged. They don't show it on just some random old PC that someone happened to have in their garage. But of course, despite being used to it, there's been a big controversy with the graphics downgrade.
A bit of a controversy about the graphics downgrade. A lot of people have gotten very, very annoyed, considering the game isn't half what they promised it to be.
But of course, also considering that we've had 2 years of two generations of PC hardware that could come out. I mean, at the time, most people would have been using a GTX 580 or a 6 something. But of course, now we've got 780 Ti's and Titan Z's. And of course, it only runs at about 40 FPS, which is annoying. But what makes that fact even more annoying is someone has gone through all the code and all the files and found that actually the E3 2012 demo, assets and stuff, are actually in the game. You can enable the game to play like it did during the E3 event. Now, of course, that just begs the question: why was this disabled? Does it, tank your FPS? Is it unstable? No, it's no less stable than it is at Ultra, and it doesn't destroy your FPS at all. It still stays at the same as what it regularly would be. Which just highlights the fact that it's not the fact that the hardware can't run the game; it's that the game's badly optimized.
And it's just upsetting that this game has had 2 years of hype of graphic promises, and then they come out with the amount of downgrades, and not only that, but it's all a lie. I mean, by no means is Watch Dogs a bad game, but it's not the game they promised us. Hacking isn't as complex as they said it would be.
This is actually
not as good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just not as good.
It was billed as being kind of the flagship, next gen game in terms of graphics and gameplay and physics and all that, but just not. In terms of physics, everyone hates the car physics.
Yeah, bit of a nightmare.
But if there's one thing Ubisoft can get right, it's water.
Water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed.
10 out of 10 water graphics. Who cares about anything else? Watch Dogs.
See, that's not what the next generation is about. It's not about better graphics. It's not about high resolution. It's not about high FPS. It's about celebrity faces and water.
Just get Boris Johnson in a sea, and you just got to keep swimming. Just stick him in the Atlantic Ocean.
The lesson that we've learned from this is just chuck a cup of water on your Xbox One. That's all it needs. That's all that matters is water your Xbox. Just chuck it.
Yeah. And make sure you've got your warranty.
Yeah.
Your warranty. But of course, given this logic, I think if someone made a game that was a simulator of swimming the English Channel where you were Boris Johnson or even more amusingly, Nigel Farage, then that game would sell really well.
Yes, this is obviously what we've learned. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway,
What's next?
moving on
What's
from
next?
insulting politics, Witcher 3.
Yes. See, what I liked most about E3 was there was a lot of RPGs, free roamy, good times that I enjoy, but these two don't, so I'm going to take over
I
for a
couldn't
little
care
bit.
less.
I'm just going to shut up.
Witcher 3, I think, is very exciting because of how free roam they made it. They've never made a Witcher that's been free roam, so they've optimized it to completely change things around.
Like Fable.
There's random character events, like enemies will just attack you out of nowhere. Like, there's a bit in the trailer where the guy's just walking along and what looks like a gargoyle just jumps him and attacks him. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy that feeling of being like, I'm walking down the road, I've got my sword, I've got my horse, I'm looking pretty cool, and a gargoyle's just ate my face off. Great. Looks like
Wow.
I'm going back to the last save. It's a lot of fun. Just random gargoyle attacks and dragon attacks and other attacks. It looks like a lot of fun. You got plenty of games like that this year. You got that. You got EverQuest, which has been coming out. EverQuest Next Landmark, which is a lot of building, a lot of running around in dungeons. You've
Fable
got
Legends.
Fable Legends, which is
See,
your...
that interests me, Fable Legends.
You got your Fable Legends is like, it's four players playing as the heroes and one player playing as the villain, which seems to also be another theme of E3 this year.
Yeah, just a lot of games. I mean, for example, Evolve. Be the villain!
Be the big nasty bad guy.
But they
which-
always lose.
Yeah,
Well, in this game you win.
yeah, you could win,
Probably.
as long as everyone else is noobs and
See,
they can no-scope them.
That's the great thing about Fable Legends, just to get back to that. Because of course, it is basically PvP, but kind of disguised, really, if you think about it.
Downgraded from what PvP
well,
should
no,
be.
no, it's kind of tactical defense merged with PvP. So the good guys have the PvP aspect, whereas the bad guy has more of a tactical defense kind of aspect.
So like it switches between. So like if you're playing as the bad guy, you're in more of a bird's eye view.
Yeah, you have a top-down view,
and you're placing enemies around. You're planning out your attack, and if you're
like tower defense without a tower.
one of the characters you're playing is like, there's an archer who has a crossbow that fires really quick. There's a bunch of sword people. It looks really cool.
Magic people.
Magic people, magic peeps. Magic has been a
Gandalf.
big thing in Fable. Yeah, Gandalf is there. Anyway, what's next? There's Shadow of Mordor, which is
more of it.
the new Lord of the Rings game, which looks really cool. They've got a new nemesis system whereby enemies will remember who you are. Enemies will be randomly generated, so you'll have different enemies with different characteristics and different places in the enemy society with different names. So you could have Borg the Borgster and then run over and slaughter him, and once you've killed him, all of his enemies... I know, it's great, right? All of his enemies and everything will become more afraid of you because they have this characteristic whereby they will remember things that you've done in games, so that'll change the story. So if you've run around murdering loads of people in your spare time, when you go back, all the enemies will be like, hold on,
Are you telling about the other way?
this guy...
I do like that. You know, where the AI actually gets to know you and says, "Hey, you've killed me before," or things like that, or
like-
you know, or you know, "I've killed you before," and things like that.
Some enemies won't die when you've killed them. Like, if you take down a bad guy, he might survive and come back. It'll be like that one Monty Python sketch with the Black Knight. He'll come back and be like, "Oh, you chopped off my arm, 'tis but a scratch. Let's have a fight again." Which sounds really cool, or could be annoying because it could just keep on happening. It could just be Shadow of Mordor based around that one Monty Python sketch where people just don't die.
Well, here's the will it be good test. Is it made by EA?
No.
Well, it'll be good then.
Yeah, that's probably quite true.
You might be able to connect to the servers.
Yeah.
That joke's never been used before.
It's Shadow of Mordor, always online.
Oh
Yay!
yes, that does have, as far as I can tell, always online DRM.
What about the trailer? It says
Yeah, the trailer did mention
internet
that.
connection required.
Oh, that
shit.
doesn't sound fun.
In fact, for that reason alone, I will not be playing that game. Right, Mirror's Edge 2. this is looking like a pretty good game, isn't it?
It fits into the category of, hey, E3 this year is all running around on buildings, yay! But it'll probably be the only game that does it right, apart from Dying Light looks alright.
Because the original Mirror's Edge was a fantastic game, because it was basically just a free-running simulator, pretty much, but with a story that no one cared about. In fact, I've played it a few times, and I still don't know the story.
Yeah, you run around and you run through buildings and...
Like a ninja.
Like a ninja.
But apparently they've actually kind of retuned, even, combat in this version. So now you're actually... It's kind of encouraged that you don't have a weapon, things like that, which is very nice. Which is, a lot of people have complained that kind of, they've added weapons into a game that doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Or shouldn't have it.
There's also been a bunch of other games. Dying Light, as I said, lets you free run. Sunset Overdrive is the new, really colourful game that they brought out.
The developers of Sunset Overdrive have managed to find a brand new feature in a lot of these new consoles. They have discovered colour.
I mean, wow.
There's just been plenty of just grey and brown. I mean basically. AAA games these days is just how much grey and brown can you cram into one colour palette? This is like, forget that. Colour!
I think they've just stuck a lot of 7-year-olds in a room and just made them draw with anything.
No, they put 7-year-olds on LSD.
And just made them, look at thing.
Just imagine if Walter Disney came back to life, took LSD, and then thought, you know what, I'm going to make games now. That is what he'd make.
Sunset Overdrive, the developers did say that we made serious games before, we're bored of that. Let's just make a fun game that's silly and makes fun of things.
Yeah, but
it is a drug trip.
Thing is, if you might have taken something, you won't tell the difference.
Yeah.
You won't be able to tell between if it's reality or,
Sunset Overdrive, the perfect game for drug addicts. Yeah.
Unlike Amnesia.
No, Amnesia would ruin you. Don't play that game.
Yeah, I've heard. So, done that. So, is there anything else that we have to mention? Because we've actually covered some pretty good time there.
Arkham Knight. Oh, it looks so good.
Arkham Knight, yes.
They've got all kinds of new things. They've got the fear takedowns, which is like if you take down an enemy with a fear takedown, the other guys will be like, hold on, this is the Batman. I'm actually pretty scared, which is always good because they were always like, I'm going to fight you. And it's like, why? I'm the Batman.
I've always wondered why games didn't have that, actually.
They got the fear takedown. I watched the gameplay trailer of it. You just move so fast. You run around, you're taking down guys. Like, I won't be able to play this game because I'm terrible at video games. And then you just dive down, you land on the street, and then the Batmobile comes around the corner. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
I thought Bruce Wayne was a bit buffy.
I know. But he is buffy, and the armour looks awesome. Yeah. They've got...
must be very lightweight, then.
He's a bit of a lightweight, yeah. They've got all kinds of stuff that they've added. They've also just released what the Scarecrow looks like, which I'm not going to spoil what's different about his character because it kind of fits into the story. But
he's got a stick up his ass.
He's got a stick up his bottom, yeah. That's what happens. At the end of Arkham City, someone runs up to him and sticks a stick up his bottom, and that's why he's pretty upset and decides to kill all of Gotham.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Sorry, guys. Sorry I told you about the stick up your bottom.
Well, anyway, and that shall conclude this episode, really, because, well, we've sort of run out of time. So, before I go, I'd just like to thank Twangmeister Studios for allowing us to use their studio. Of course, Twangmeister Studios is the small studio with the big sound, and, I believe this to be the perfect place to record your next project. No matter what it is, whether you're a solo person, you're a group, you can do anything from country to rap, just whatever. And of course, there have been award-winning musicians here making chart-topping music. So really, you are in very capable hands here. So anyway, that should wrap this up. I am Jacob Wilding.
I'm Tom Walker. See you later.
I'm Sam Meadows. See you next time. I hope you've enjoyed our first episode. Bye.
Yes, thank you.
Put it pretty bluntly.
Yep.
Yeah.